Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be back in lovely Jordan. I want to talk to you without slides today. I think there's an opportunity for us to listen to the potential of what technology can bring to life and not necessarily dig and delve into the technology. The reason I want to do this is because I believe there's an opportunity for each and every one in this room, for each and every city around the world, for each and every nation around the world, in the ability to adopt new technologies to create new values. I want to start by the value that 5G could bring to nations. But first, let's dilute 5G and the talk about 5G around the key benefits of this new technology. And please don't ask me if 5G truly causes corona or cancer. I'd like to take that question till after. 5G is all about speed and bandwidth. 5G is about capacity and about ultra low latency. And with these two premises, I believe nations should pay extreme attention to the accelerated deployment of 5G. And we've heard the regulator earlier on about the need and the desire and the strategy to accelerate the adoption and rollout. Because there is a direct correlation between the availability of broadband in the hands of nations and in the hands of citizens with a direct increase and improvement of the GDP, the gross domestic product of nations. So there is a very direct link between the bandwidth you receive as a user and the growth of your GDP. There is a direct link between the availability of connectivity at high speed and the quality of education. There is a direct link in your ability to address emergency situations, whether fire or ambulance, and the availability of connectivity in a nation. There is a direct link between cities competing with each other with the availability of the critical national infrastructure and the connectivity platform of those cities. This is what 5G brings to nations and cities. But it doesn't stop there. 5G will enable us to see a tremendous transformation in users' behaviors between the generations we've seen before that will be dwarfed as we transition from 4G to 5G. And the reason for that is you're able to do things unheard of in the past. And that goes back to the two original premises that I mentioned earlier that 5G brings to you. Ultra high capacity and speed and ultra low latency. The ability for you to actually operate on a patient remotely will become a reality. The ability for a nation to eliminate all car accidents on the highways can become a reality. The ability for you to completely transform your education system can become a reality. The ability for you to immerse yourself through experiences, not just in high definition, in real-time definition. 5G can provide that. The sky is the limit in what you can do, and the use cases will proliferate. I've spent 30 years in the mobile industry, starting out as an R&D engineer and developing the gateways and the infrastructure that connected the mobile world to the internet. And I've seen every mobile operator around the world, from Chile to Japan, from Canada to New Zealand, and everything in between. And it's always been around, how can I make more money from my network? And my answer has always been the same. Create the experiences, not the packages. Do not build a network and expect to charge money for connectivity. We've seen over the last 3 decades, ARPU is going down from the $2,000 in the early analog phones that we carried that were as heavy as a brick. Some of you probably never seen those, the younger generation. Back then, my hair was a little bit longer than this, and I was a little smarter. And we've seen this dwindle down into the single dollar digits. The ARPU in India is $1. The ARPU in Indonesia is $2. In Spain, in Mexico, it's $2.50. There's no money behind building networks. There's money behind experiences. There's money behind applications. And industries will benefit tremendously from the proliferation and the availability of this very unique connectivity platform that is wireless. The ability for you to connect the oil and gas industries, the transportation industries, the new emerging countries that require this new transformation that allows us to compete globally. And last but not least, the consumers, each and every individual of us, who is going to be able to connect socially and digitally in completely different ways. You will scratch your head and think about the days when people used to post pictures and videos on the Instagrams and the TikToks and think about how archaic that was and how primitive that was. This is what 5G brings to you. Now, what does 5G bring to the mobile operators? And today I want to share with you the story from Japan. The story from this digital company called Rakuten, where in 2018 we had a choice to make. And every operator around the world today has a choice to make. Now, unbeknown to many, if you're building a mobile network today, you have less than a handful of partners that could supply you your equipment, less than 5. While if you were going to shop for a laptop, you have plethora of options. And we did not, as a digital innovator who understood technology, both telecom and IT, we did not want to be locked to a choice out of a handful. And thankfully, the industry was heading into a direction of complete democratization and diversification of the network equipment. And by the way, the reason this is a big opportunity for mobile operators is because it costs not millions of dollars, not tens of millions of dollars, not hundreds of millions of dollars. It costs billions of dollars to build a mobile network nationwide. And that choice made a huge difference for us because we entered Japan as the 4th mobile operator. There were 3 mobile operators covering the whole nation of Japan. We entered as the 4th mobile operator. And that choice was the right choice for us because simply we could not compete in a market where our cost structure is equal to the competitor's cost structure. So we immediately looked at the ability for us to deploy a network that is not linked to a single vendor or a single supplier. We wanted to break down this monolithic system that locks you into 1 or 2 suppliers. And thankfully, the industry was heading into a direction called Open Radio Access Network, democratized, diversified access network, where I don't have to be following one of the 5. In addition to this, we realized that the telco industry has completely forgotten about what happened in the enterprise world and the consumer world in adopting technologies that are extremely cost optimized, commodity-based technologies where each and every one of us and every company around us and every government around us uses today. It's called cloud and virtualization technologies. So we brought the two and married them together. We brought this democratized, diversified radio access network that allows you to bring radios from anywhere you want and anybody you want as long as they comply with a standard way of interconnection. And we also made a very conscious decision. We will not put proprietary systems in our environment. We will leverage what the world is doing today all over except in telecom. So we used commoditized hardware, we deployed a unified cloud, and we adopted this open democratized radio access network. And long and behold, if you take a look at the benchmarks, today Tokyo's network that is based on this very, very interesting new paradigm is ranking in the 6th percentile globally among the comparison of networks that have been built, optimized, and completely tailored and engineered to serve the users best over the last 2.5, 3 decades. Now, what that meant to us as an operator is we could enter a market where the ARPU, by the way, the ARPU in India and Indonesia cannot be compared to Japan. The ARPU in Japan was in the $60 to $80 per user. And we entered the market with that cost structure that was 40% less in building a network across Japan that allowed us to have a monthly tariff that is limited and capped at about $25 a month, starting with free of charge for everyone, internet connectivity as a human right for everyone. And that's what 5G is so exciting. That's why 5G is so exciting. That's where the opportunity of 5G is. It's about us touching every human, every company, every nation, every city, and every mobile operator. And I wish we had more time to delve into more details, but happy to take questions in the panel. Thank you very much.